do I begin with this one? Relapsing. Just when you thought you got over that person, just when you thought you were good, it can be one little thing that sets everything back over again. All it takes is one little thing to set all those emotions back off again. It's crazy how quick it happens. It can happen before you know it. It's happened to me countless times throughout the year. And kind of going through it now. I mean, really, I have been for the last week since I saw the picture. But I don't know. The past couple nights, I've really been feeling it the most. I've been really more in my feels. It's funny how, even after yesterday, I was on a day-long hike. Not a thought in my mind about any of that stuff. But as soon as I get home and back in my room, all the emotions and thoughts flood right back in. Yesterday was actually 1 year since I messaged her back. Yesterday was 1 year since her and I reconnected. And I think that had a large piece to do with it. It reminded me of a lot of things. A lot of things that came from that second round with her. It's funny because I feel like even outside of that, throughout the year, I've gotten so many little things that I'll see throughout my daily life that'll give me a reminder of her. Sometimes it's just the names of companies that'll have her last name on it or something. Or signs or something like that. And it's other things too. Like the place she lived in, her hometown, stuff like that. I'll see that on a sign whenever I come home from work, and it's just like an in-your-face reminder of all those memories. One thing I think about a lot when it comes to this situation is the first time her and I had hung out since we had reconnected. The first time I had spoken to her in person in months. Everything about that day was just ethereal. Everything about that day was great. The weather, the sky was perfect, there was no wind. It was just a great day. We talked about so much. I got to know her family more and just... I don't know, everything seemed perfect, I guess. I can truly say that was a perfect day. And in a couple weeks, it'll have been 1 year since that day. It seemed like that summer altogether was perfect. And her presence just added on to that. I didn't do a whole lot last summer. But a good chunk of it was talking to her and spending time with her. And straight up, if I could relive it again, I would. If I could do it all over again right now, I so would. I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't miss her. Because I do. But unfortunately, she probably doesn't miss me. I mean, showing by the pictures I told you guys about last week. She's probably fine now. My guess is that I don't come across her mind. And it sucks. Especially where, now that I don't have social media, I'll probably never be able to contact her again. I probably will never speak to her again. However, I guess on July 3rd, I have a race up there because I run track and stuff like that. And she'll be there. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that or react to it. But I'm just going to have to live with it and deal with it. And if an interaction comes between us, then so be it. I guess one thing I'm trying to work on, and one thing I'm trying to be better with, is coming to the understanding that something that'll probably help me get over this is simply getting out more. With this first year of college, I didn't really get out a whole lot. Considering the fact that she left within the first couple weeks of school for me, I kind of closed myself off after that. I didn't really feel like opening back up to new people again. I kind of just did my own thing. And because of how little I did and how unwell I adapted to my first year of college, academically my second semester was not great. My first half was fine, but I think something that contributed to my second half not being great was seasonal depression and the fact that it amplified my emotions about this whole thing, this whole situation and everything. So by the time I started to come out of it, it was too late. I'm not saying I failed or anything like that, but some of my classes this past semester were not great. I just couldn't lock in. The thoughts and the emotions of it all, they were too overbearing. They just haunted me. I've had so many dreams about her and this whole situation. I can't even explain it. So many. There's been countless days where I've just woken up crying because I've just had those dreams and they've affected me so drastically. The dreams, if anything, are the things that hit the most when it comes to relapsing because they feel so real. It's like she's back in my life again. It's like she never left. But then I wake up and she's gone. She was never there. The amount of tears in general that I've shed over this whole thing is too many. Way too many. I do wish I could talk to her. I won't lie. I really, really want to talk to her. I wonder how she's been. I do wonder how she's doing, how her family's been, everything. She probably doesn't wonder the same about me. And I mean, that's understandable at this point in time. It's been 8 to 9 months. She's got every right to have already moved on to somebody new. I figured she probably would have anyway. One thing I think about a lot is something that happened back in the winter. It's unrelated, but it kind of ties into everything. But it's basically related. So, it was like, I don't even know, sometime at night, but the time is irrelevant in this situation. I was watching The Amazing Spider-Man, I think it was the second one. Yeah. And I was watching the part where Gwen got accepted into, I think it was Oxford. And she called Peter to try to tell him that she got accepted. And she told him, I think they were broken up at this point or something, Peter and Gwen. And she called him and told him that it was time to let things go and time to move past all this. The minute I heard that, I broke down. Probably one of the hardest times I ever had in my life. I think after hearing that, I cried so hard. So hard. And that was because I felt like I could relate to it so much. I felt like in that moment, I felt like I was Peter and she was Gwen. That she was telling me that it was time to move on and to forget about all this. And she's right. I just don't understand why, after so long, I haven't moved on. I've never been like this in the past. I mean, with my first love, of course I was. I think I mentioned that before. But every time after that, I've moved on just fine. But this time, unlike all the others, something inside me just won't let me move on. I just don't understand why. I don't want to sound over dramatic or cliche or anything like that. That's just how I feel. Straight from the heart. I'd do anything to tell her that I miss her right now. But it's better that I don't. I think, however, this has taught me a lesson. And that lesson being, well, it's not really like a lesson, but it's kind of helping me understand that a way to probably help me move past all this is to meet new people. Is to open up and try to force myself out of my shell and become a more extroverted person. And with that takes skill. It's not an easy thing to acquire, but it's very doable. And I know I can do it. And it's something I'm trying to work on. Self-improvement, becoming more extroverted, all of that. This summer and fall, start of the semester, my biggest goal is to try and meet new people. Try and talk to more girls, maybe. Because at the end of the day, I go to a school with like 20,000 people in it. You can't tell me that if I approach some of those girls and ask for their numbers and get to know them and shit, or at least make an attempt, you can't tell me that I'm not going to succeed. There is somebody out there for me. And I'm coming to understand that. And it could be anybody at the end of the day. I don't know. There's some girl at this school, at UMaine, that I'm sure will match perfectly with me. It's just a matter of timing. And I can't chase. I just gotta do my own thing in the meantime. Just gotta work on myself. And that's okay. Because self-improvement is crucial. Just gotta get my money up, I guess, you know. Do what I can. But as long as I can put myself back out there, I'm sure I'll be okay at the end of the day. That's all I got. As Bryson Tiller once said, stay blessed.